You're watching The Penny Hardaway Show, presented by Cook's Pest Control.
The winning streak comes to an end as the Tigers lose on the road at FAU. We'll recap the game against the Owls, sit down with Joe Cooper, and look ahead at long last to the conference tournament in Fort Worth. It's The Penny Hardaway Show. Let's go.
The Penny Hardaway Show is presented by Cook's Pest Control. You don't have to live with pests. Call Cook's Pest Control and get a free quote today. Conway Services, the official HVAC partner of Tiger Athletics. Tennessee Lottery, turning dollars into dreams. Tiger Bookstore, the official merchandiser of Tiger Athletics. AutoZone, when you've got car trouble, you want help from number one. So if you've got a battery problem, head to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone. And supported by your Memphis area Toyota dealers.
The great thing about a postseason conference tournament is you get another chance. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Woloshin.
And I'm Matt Infield. Let's check out the highlights from the Tigers' regular season finale at FAU. A trip to Boca for the regular season finale. Naquan Tomlin continues his role. He's our outstanding performer of the week. Gets the very friendly bounce on the quarter three. Tigers start the game up 5-0. Nice day for Jaden Hardaway, too. Later in the first, wide open three ball, straight cash. Season high, 8 points off the bench for him. David Jones doing his thing, too. Steps in one from downtown, drills it. 20-14 Memphis. 1 point Tiger lead now. Jaquan Walton, great feed inside to Tomlin for 2 of his game-high 27 points. Owls went on a run to take a 5-point lead. Tigers on the prowl in transition. Javon Quinterly up ahead to Jones. Pump fake, flyby, triple, good. Pulls the Tigers within 2. Final seconds of the first half. FAU gets into the hands of Brian Greenlee. Tough shot with 2 guys in his face. Still gets it to go. Law 2 sends the Owls to the locker room with a 6-point lead. Quinterly is our defensive player of the week. Early second half, he jumps the passing lane, forces the steal. In the open floor, JQ dumps it off to Tomlin. Misses the first shot, gets his own rebound, makes the second one. 46-42 Owls. Tigers down 9 with under 2 minutes to play, but not going quietly. Quinterly came alive in the second half, connects on a long ball. All of a sudden, it's an 83-77 game, but FAU just had a little too much. Greenlee 6 a quarter three. He had 21 as the Tigers fall to Florida Atlantic in the regular season finale, 92-84.
What an emotional night it was. Senior night, all the folks that from around the country coming in for this thing, but I want to start really close to your heart. Your son, Jaden, I think that's, for me, the first time I've ever seen a dad coach with the senior night.
Right, yeah, it was a special night because I know how far Jaden has come. I know how he's always wanted to be a Division I basketball player, his dreams and his hopes of being here, and he's here now, having an undergrad and a master's. Just seeing him just grow. And then yesterday, all of that balled up into one moment of seeing him being applauded as coming out as a senior. It's finally come to an end here at Memphis, but his life is just beginning outside of sports.
What do you think he's going to be when basketball's over?
He wants to be in sports management. He might even own his own agency or, get into some real estate. He's a business-minded kid, so he's going to be successful in whatever he does because once he puts his mind to it, he always succeeds.
I want to talk about a couple things with David Jones. First, talk about emotional moments at senior day. His sister, who is serving in the Navy, he hadn't seen her in 2.5 years. Did you have any idea that was coming?
Absolutely. We spoke to David's people and we were like, he hadn't seen his sister. He always talked to me about his sister and what she says to him and how he takes her advice. And when I knew she was coming, I knew it was going to blow him away. I was hoping it didn't blow him away enough to where he couldn't really focus because he's really connected with his sister.
And then, coming out of last year, I thought it would be tough for anyone in this year's team to match the one-year wonder that was Kendrick Davis. I'm not comparing Kendrick and David, but it seems like he's made that kind of impact. When you think about David Jones, Memphis Tiger basketball history, what's going to come to mind for you?
Man, he's top 5, for 1 year.
Wow.
Honestly, for a one-year gig, David Jones has done some phenomenal things. He's 3rd in the country in scoring. I mean, a lot of people haven't done that in 1 year here.
I'm amazed at your incredible influence because you got the Navy to let David Jones' sister off to get her here. That was pretty impressive in its own right.
The favor of God.
Let's go to, since you're bringing up KD, let's talk about that KD this year. That is Javon Quinterly. It's great, unbelievable. 2 years in a row, you get such a powerful player in that important position.
Yeah, the PG spot is definitely the most important, and it came down to almost the 11th hour, and we got Javon Quinterly, which is unbelievable pickup late in the portal. And what hasn't he done? He's been the leader. He's made big shots. He's won games. He's assisted. He's done everything possible. Gotten better defensively as the years gone on. He's one of our better defenders now. He's locked in and it has been a true blessing to have him on our team this year after Kendrick Davis's 1 year.
If it came down to the wire, how did you get him?
He just wanted to play for an NBA guard. You know, Alabama was great for him, but once he got into the portal, the one thing that he was sold on was me coaching him and giving him some, point guard pointers throughout the year.
Talk about late pickups, the latest of late pickups. Naquan Tomlin, midseason addition, and especially lately, I don't think you could ask for anything more from him. What can you say about what he's brought, especially lately?
Yeah, Naquan, came in, I can only imagine coming to a team almost mid-season and trying to fit in and learn a different style when you were just at another school, a week before. And you have to fit in, and it's just taking him this long, a month and a half, maybe 2 to get comfortable, but man, is he comfortable now. He's playing really good basketball, and it was actually a blessing to get him as well because you don't get that type of talent during the season.
What do you think of his journey? We talked to him a couple weeks ago. He's only been playing organized basketball for 5.5 years. For him to be this good already, what does that say about him?
Yeah, it just says that, that gift that he has, from God is showing, but his ceiling is extremely high. He has so much more basketball to learn. And for where he is, he's really, really good. So I see him on the next level for sure.
Let's talk about a guy who had to figure out his role. He was a scorer in Wichita. He had 13 rebounds, 9 in the second half against UAB. Jaquan Walton, it seems to me that if he plays the role, and he's sacrificing scoring for you, but if he accepts that, he is so important to this team.
Yeah, Jaquan is a guy that I call on for a lot. Defense, knocking down an open three, going to rebound, taking on the challenge of the other team's best player, picking him up 94 feet, sprinting the lane to try to get transition threes. So we call on him a lot, and he's had to sacrifice, kind of like Caleb Mills. They both were scorers, and then now they're being asked to be 3-and-D guys, like knock down open shots and defend the other team's best player. And he's done a phenomenal job.
Since you mentioned Caleb, it was sad to see him walk out there with a cane, but at least it's better than crutches. He's making his way, and he'll end up being a pro ball player somewhere. But that was a big loss because he was such a leader.
Yeah, huge loss because he was our vocal leader, team leader, the guy that would guard the other team's best player. And he was so crafty with the basketball, he could get around anybody and make a play. And watching him go out there last night, I know it hurt him, it hurt me as well, but he's such a positive guy. Caleb's gonna be okay. He's definitely gonna be a pro himself one day.
Did you know you were getting that leadership aspect out of him when you recruited him?
I did not know I was gonna get that leadership aspect because, when you're recruiting a guy, you're talking to other coaches, other players, and you just didn't get that side of it. You got the offensive side, you didn't get the defensive side or the leadership side, and when he came here, he came on to that role.
Joe Cooper is a name not many Tiger fans had on their radar at the start of the season, but the walk-on has made an impact for the squad. We'll document his incredible journey. Coming up next.
You're watching The Penny Hardaway Show, presented by Cook's Pest Control.
Welcome back to the Penny Hardaway Show. Joe Cooper is a Memphis kid to his core. With Tiger blood running through his veins, his dream has always been to be part of this program, and now in maybe the most unexpected way possible, it's finally happened. Cooper grew up in Memphis, and his stepfather, Rodney Newsom, played for the Tigers in the 90s. It's only natural he became infatuated with the program at an early age.
I don't know if it was him or just the people I was around. Growing up in the city, all you see is blue everywhere, and Penny came to a lot of my games as a kid, which was always big for me. It was exciting, kept me motivated. So always loved blue, from the guys like Trey Draper to Adonis Thomas, Chris Crawford. Those are the guys I grew up around, and those are the guys I kind of idolized. So I always wanted to be a Tiger.
Cooper remembers watching the 2008 Tigers, and while it might not be a totally happy memory, he credits that team with setting him on his path.
I guess that's when I realized, like, I want to be a Tiger. I remember writing a list down, like, goals of mine, and one of them was to play for the University of Memphis and win games, actually. So, yeah, this is actually a dream come true for me.
Cooper actually didn't play high school ball in Memphis. He was recruited to Olive Branch by another player that may be familiar to SEC fans in the area.
DJ Jeffries is actually my best friend. We went to middle school together, played AAU together, and he just told me, I want you to come play with me, and I was like, for sure, I love that guy, so it was a no-brainer for me.
Cooper was part of the first state title in Conquistadors program history. He had some Division I looks out of high school, but none he feels were a good fit.
Things happen, and it's just none was the right opportunity, so I had to take a couple different routes to get here, but I'm just glad I made it here.
Ole Miss, Mississippi State, a couple other schools, right?
Yes, sir.
Not here though, right?
No, sir. No,
Did
sir.
that bother you at the time?
I'm a kid. Like I feel like God gives you what you're supposed to have. So I guess I was pretty upset, but I understand. Like it's always a bigger purpose, and God has a plan for you.
Sure. Cooper set off on a JUCO journey. He was originally enrolled at Pearl River Community College before the pandemic squashed that, which led him to transfer to Northwest Mississippi Community College.
I wanted to get back closer to home, and it was honestly the best decision I made in my life. I locked in with my coaches. Nick Williams got my jumper right, and took off from there. Was leading scorer 2 years in a row, leading assists, got 2 in a row, 2 years in a row, led the conference in assists. So, that's when I kind of made a name for myself and showed people who Joe Cooper was.
Did you have fun there?
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. I love Coach Oakley. I run through a brick wall for that man. So it was some of the best times of my life there.
After 2 great years in Senatobia, it was time for Cooper to try and make his lifelong dream a reality. One thing led to another, and the Memphis kid was offered a spot on his favorite team as a walk-on.
It was actually, and I was like, this might be worth it all. Just seeing that, my name on the back of my jersey, seeing that Memphis, especially when we wear the Memphis State jerseys, that's something I take pride in. I want to play hard, win for people like Penny and my dad and Elliot Perry.
But there was one enormous obstacle in the way of Cooper wearing that jersey in a game. He had to take 36 credits in the fall to become eligible to play. Yes, you heard that right. 36. The average full-time college student takes around 15 in a semester.
Oh man, it was tough. Like some days it was hard to get out of bed just because I was so tired from doing schoolwork, still having to maintain playing basketball, working out, keeping up with the plays, and not being able to play was actually harder than I thought it would be.
Cooper somehow managed to check all those academic boxes. By January, he was practicing regularly, and Petty told him his opportunity was coming, but he was mentally drained from the schoolwork and basketball and not in a good headspace. Head coach and player had a long conversation that helped put him in a much better place.
Just telling me he knew my talent, he believed in me, and I was a part of this team, and he could use me. So like that feel coming from a coach like Penny Hardaway, man, that means the world to me. For him to take time out his day to just do that for me, it makes me want to run through a brick wall for him as well. Every time I get on that court, I guess that's why I play so hard for him.
Cooper's hard work finally paid off in the Tigers' road game against SMU. While it was a horrible game for the team, the Memphis kid finally made his game debut for the squad he loved since his childhood.
I told some of my friends, like, it felt like a video game. Like when I was out there, it was crazy. George Bush was there, and obviously we were losing, so it wasn't really that fun. But it was just like, I can play on this level. So that felt more like a moral victory.
Cooper's home game debut was probably even better. A convincing win for his team where he hit a 3 and felt the love from the 901 crowd.
Oh man, it was surreal, just going out there. It was really like contributing to the win. That's what was like fun for me, because that's what I always want to do, like contribute, help this team in some kind of way for the city. So that was fun.
But I think that the crowd reacted to you in a little different way, just being a Memphis kid, and know your journey as well, I'm sure. What was that like to soak in?
Oh man, it's great, because everywhere I go, it's like people telling me how much they love me, and I haven't always had that because I was in JUCO, nobody knew about me. So now being here, it's surreal.
Petty's mentioned that you brought something that the team was missing before. What do you think that is in your words?
Just energy, man. Great energy, selfless energy, and that's why I try to embody myself, and that's what I've been doing.
How would you sum up your love for this program and the city?
Man, this city means everything to me, honestly. You know, I love Memphis, want to live in Memphis the rest of my life. This is home for me. Like, when people talk bad about Memphis, I don't tolerate that. This is the best city in the world to me. I love it here.
If you were to give a message to someone about the most important parts of your journey that allowed you to get to this point, what would you say?
Just embrace whatever God has for you. You know, it like people say, it gets greater later. Embrace it, man, and put your head down, just work, keep being a good person, keep fighting, it's gonna work out.
In a year of twists and turns, Coach, one of the biggest surprises out of nowhere came Joe Cooper. And then we find out that's Rodney Newsom's son. What an amazing story.
Yeah, Joe has definitely been a silent assassin on the team. He wasn't eligible early, got eligible in the second half of the season. We were trying to figure things out. That's why we never put him in. And then when we started having some injuries, I was like, okay, Joe, you got to get ready. And man, was he ready for his moment. And then Rodney Newsom being his father. So, that's the whole tie into this. But Joe is a Memphis kid, true and true. He bleeds blue. He loves the Tigers. He loves the city. And when he's out there on that court, he knows how to represent the 901.
4 years of JUCO ball before he gets his opportunity at this level. How did you find him? Why did you think he could play here?
Well, they found me because they knew that they could help me win basketball games. And they came to me and met with me and said, hey, Joe wanted to be here. And of course, Rodney and I played together in college, and I trusted that Joe would come in and do the job, and now he's doing the job.
So when Rodney says, I got a son for you, are you thinking, yeah, right? I mean, what was your first thoughts?
No, I've known Joe for a while. I've known Joe since high school, when he was playing in high school, and he was a really good high school player, and he led the JUCO, led the nation in assists in JUCO. So I'm familiar with him. I just didn't know that he was going to come to Memphis.
How's going back-to-back in Fort Worth sound to everyone? We'll preview the Tigers' quest to defend their conference championship. Coming up next.
You're watching The Penny Hardaway Show, presented by Cook's Pest Control. Let's take a look at the AutoZone road ahead.
Coach, I think you have to go all the way back to the days of the Metro Conference to see a league that will be more competitive in their postseason tournament. This thing in Fort Worth is going to be amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be interesting to see because a lot of these teams play well at home. When you get to a neutral court, it can really get crazier, because there's about 7 teams in this league, maybe 8, that could possibly win the entire thing if they get hot enough, but it's just that type of league this year.
A lot of different teams this year, but obviously you guys are the defending conference tournament champions. Biggest takeaway from that experience for you?
Yeah, the biggest takeaway is not to take anything for granted. To play every game, obviously you have to play it like your last, but every mistake matters. So in practices and preparation, you have to be on point.
Your team does seem to respond to immense pressure, like the deficit against UAB.
Well, what a lot of people don't know is we planned that deficit, Dave.
Yeah.
But no, it's that's the tale of 2 teams and the tale of 2 halves. You just have to have that fight and no quit. And we didn't have to quit and we came back.
That was tonight's AutoZone Road Ahead. AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination and official sponsor of Tiger Athletics. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Coach is spot on about this bash we're going to have down in Fort Worth. Anybody could win it. Back with a wrap in just a minute.
You're watching The Penny Hardaway Show, presented by Cook's Pest Control.
Thanks so much for watching. Our next show will be a season wrap-up. Have a great night, everybody.
The Penny Hardaway Show is presented by Cook's Pest Control. You don't have to live with pests. Call Cook's Pest Control and get a free quote today. Conway Services, the official HVAC partner of Tiger Athletics. Tennessee Lottery, turning dollars into dreams. Tiger Bookstore, the official merchandiser of Tiger Athletics. AutoZone, when you've got car trouble, you want help from #1. So if you've got a battery problem, head to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone. And supported by your Memphis area Toyota dealers. This copyrighted telecast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Memphis. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the University of Memphis and Learfield.